This lesson we're going to be looking at into an intro to right angle trigonometry. So right angle trigonometry is basically looking at triangles that have right angles. Basically, that's it. Trigonometry is basically the mathematics of triangles. So basically, looking at triangles with right angles. So what exactly is a right angle? Right angle is an angle with 90 degrees, and it's perpendicular, right, to the base of a triangle or a part of a triangle. It's usually perpendicular. As you can see, this is perpendicular to this, right? That's why it's like upwards, like that. That's perpendicular, right? So, let me move that real quick. So we can see that this right here is a 90-degree angle, so therefore it is a right angle triangle. Also, in diagrams, you can identify one. If they have a square there, that means it's a right angle triangle, okay? All right. Now, when we are analyzing the triangle, there are three important segments of the triangle. We have A, B, and C, right? Those are the three sides, A, B, and C. In this case, the C value, right, the C is known as the hypotenuse, right? And that's usually the longest side. That's the hypotenuse, right, from there to there. The C value, that's the hypotenuse, and it's usually the longest side of a triangle. The other A and B are known as the opposite and adjacent sides. But for now, we'll just refer to them as the legs of the triangle. Since we're just looking at the Pythagorean theorem, let's not get too overcomplicated. We'll just call A and B legs. And the longest side, the hypotenuse. All right, so a scientist, right? A scientist from a long time ago, scientist, mathematician, polymath, known as Pythagoras, discovered that, if we were to make a square on the B side and we were to make a square on the A side, like make a little square, right? So let's say this was all the same. Those values are all the same, right? The same numbers, like this, right? If you know what I'm talking about, all these values are the same. So in that case, he thought that, okay, so this square and this square added together, right, must equal this square, the total area of this square, right? So I put this B together and this A together, and it'll give me the total area of C. So that's basically all that is represented by this formula of C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, right? Now this formula can be simplified, right? We can say that C, just to get C on its own without the square, right? We can say that C is equal to square root of A squared plus B squared. We can do the same for both of the legs as well. If we want one of the legs, we can move C to the other side, and we get A is equal to square root of C squared minus B squared, and B is equal to square root of C squared minus A squared. Now we're going to be doing a example question involving a diagram that they've given us, okay? So let's start here. Okay, first we know it's a right angle triangle right away because we see a little square here, right? We have our square, so it's a right angle triangle. And they have given us both the A and the B, right? So they've given us both. Let me choose the color here. They've given us both A, right? And they've given us B. But we don't know what C is. What is our C? That's what we need to find out. We didn't know what our hypotenuse is, right? So figure it out. We can go back, right? We can go back and see that the formula of C is equal to the square root of A squared plus B squared, right? So my C is equal to my square root of A squared plus B squared. So we can state that A in this case is equal to 5 centimeters and B is equal to 6 centimeters. As they have given us those values, let's plug it in. So C is equal to square root of A squared, which is 5 centimeters squared, plus B squared, which is 6 centimeters squared. So C is basically equivalent to 5 times 5 is 25, so put 25 centimeters here, plus 6 centimeters squared, which is basically 6 times 6, which is 36. Alright, let's extend that square root over the 36. Okay, cool. So now all we have to do is calculate everything inside of my square root. So 25 plus 36, if we use a calculator, 25 plus 36 is 61. So basically we're finding the square root of 61. Alright, so by using mental math, it's gonna be difficult to find the square root of 61, right? Because two numbers that multiply 61 don't exist, right? But if we do take the square root of 61, we get an answer of C is equal to 7.81 centimeters. So therefore, we can state that the hypotenuse slash C is equal to 7.81 centimeters, right? So that's about it. That's about it for the Pythagorean theorem.